partner based on purpose, not pleasure. Pick a partner based on purpose, not pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
Do not pick partnerships based on pleasure. You pick partnerships based on purpose. And I think that's where a lot of people get messed up. There are a lot of people you can be compatible with, but they're not going in the same direction as you. The pleasure wears off when you get in a pit. Like when it ain't working, when we lost the money, when you used to dress up for me and now you looking like a grandma, like all of those things, that's when you have to pick partners that you remember. Why did we get together? What was the purpose of this? What did we say we were gonna do? And so a lot of times when people are starting to date and have fun and do all the different things, they're not thinking purpose. And it's hard to think purpose when you have not spent enough time with yourself personally.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Pick a partner based on purpose, not pleasure. We'll go to you first, Hank.
Oh man, what a great topic, brother. What a great topic. You know, unfortunately, young Hink was doing just the opposite. He wasn't picking on no purpose at all. It was all pleasure because she had that tail on her that I love to see and eat and enjoy. But it kind of hurt later because it cost me financial. Yeah. Good eating, brother. Good eating. But later on in the night, with a few more birthdays up under my belt, you kind of realize, okay, it's a bigger purpose than just some good loving. You know what I'm saying? And so my standards, that's when my standards had to change just a little bit, and I operate on purpose. So now that's the phase I'm in my life now, and so my current lady that I am seeing and plan on marrying soon, I picked on the purpose, and she's on my purpose because she falls within the standards that I put out towards her, and she flips the bill. So I had 10 standard rules. I wasn't moving on. She was able to hit 7, so she's able to get a passing grade, so we can rock.
All right. Go ahead, Marcus. What are your thoughts about it? Pick a partner based on purpose, not pleasure.
Yeah, I think if you do that, then your life would be a whole lot happier. I think men making decisions based off who you are extremely attracted to or who gives you the most butterflies to be in a long-term relationship with, it's a recipe for disaster. Because when men talk about the women they pedestalize, that's most of the time what happens. They thought she was so beautiful that they put her on this in this space where they really view her as the most pleasurable thing that they could have. They just got pleasure just by looking at her and being around her. And because of that, you let stuff slide. You let her get away with, like we were saying, the disrespect earlier. You let her get away with not doing things you would have requested a woman that you weren't so much infatuated with doing. And it puts you in a position where you can't achieve or do or be in the right space that you need to be based on you choosing pleasure over purpose. But when you're in a relationship that you feel is purposeful, you can't communicate the things you want because there's not this cloud of just ecstasy following you around at all times. You can think clearly. Like I told men this before, if there's 2 women, one that you just madly in love with and ready to fight the whole world behind, and one that you love that this is just gonna be a good woman, choose the good woman. Don't go the other way. Because if you see yourself pedestalizing her, that shit is not gonna work out. You're gonna end up having to visit your kids every 3rd weekend. I promise you, it don't sound ideal, but the only relationships where that work out is where a woman looks at you that way. Because the other way, it's gonna go wrong for you. I promise you. I promise you.
All right. Go ahead, Cloud. Cloud.
Yeah, I agree with what Marcus said, but I definitely think that you need a combination of both. Like a lot of time we go, should it be purpose or pleasure? Which is better, which are worse, and it's like I would think that the person that you're choosing to be with will provide you with both purpose and pleasure. I feel like that would be the ideal. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you really should have to compromise on that when it comes to somebody who you're calling, your partner. Like part of the purpose is pleasure because you know what, like yeah, you could be helping me build this business and all that, but you know, once the business is built, like, and I go home, like, if there's no pleasure at home, like, that's what's gonna cause somebody to step out and
Your
cheat.
mic is crackling.
I don't know what's going on with it, man. I don't motherfucking know, man. But hey, man, it's still crackling.
Yeah, just
Yeah, well, yeah. I definitely think it should be a combination of both. We figure out the mic, man.
okay. All right. We had to start you a fun clap. Man. Hey Sean, did you go? I go ahead.
So I don't like those parameters. I ain't gonna lie to you, purpose or pleasure. If we being honest, most people and then definitely most men ain't on no goddamn purpose in life in general, and definitely not with no relationship. It's who we think is the finest. You know what I'm saying? It's who we get pregnant. It's things like that. So I don't even think most niggas even think about that. You know what I'm saying? And then pleasure. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'll say for me, right? When you with somebody and either y'all, all of y'all, or most of y'all have been married or are married, it takes way more than some fucking purpose to get you through them hard times. Way more. You got to actually fuck with the person. You got to want to be around the person. I don't care what your purpose is. If you don't want to be around that person, if you hate the sight of them, it ain't gonna work. When y'all go through hard times, if you don't have a solid foundation, whatever that foundation is for y'all, it's not gonna work. So I don't think it's one singular thing. I think it's a host of things. And I don't think at all, I know for sure that it's not purpose or pleasure singularly. Those could be components, but I wouldn't say either one of those singularly.
All right, go ahead, Sham.
I'm with my man Sean. Listen, purpose. Well, why are you here? Like, what's the reason you here in my life? To pleasure me. I mean, what are men looking for in what are men looking for in women? The overreaching thing, as I said last week, Oscar Wilde's famous quote is, everything in the world is about sex except for sex. Sex is about power. What is it? Traditionally, a lot of men used to get married so they can have consistent sex. I don't need you to help me make money necessarily. You can help me make more, but I don't need you to build anything for me. I need you to, help me have children, and I want to have sex, and I want to have somebody to talk to, and I want you to love on me, and I want you to help me with the things that I need. I want you to support my endeavors. I need you to be my number one cheerleader. I need, but when it comes to purpose, men's purpose is different, and his purpose shouldn't be necessarily his wife. It should be making sure his whole family's good to go. But to say pleasure is, I don't know that it's necessarily, you can necessarily separate the two, because I think this is almost kind of tantamount to what we talked about last week, or a couple weeks ago, when a brother was like, man, I had a woman that was good for me, but I just couldn't marry her because I couldn't look at her forever. I forget that it was like a pastor or somebody, or maybe it was one of our shows, and he was I had to let her. Yeah, I had to let it go. Listen, man, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. I did not make the rules. I did not create the playbook, but I know how to play the game. And the game is, we want a woman that looks good. Women do not come out of the friend zone. If you are a woman that we are not physically attracted to, you will be in the friend zone forever. You will live there. And he will be single, and you will always be his friend.